Hi everyone, so I'm doing a quick review of a Toyota Avalon. This is a 2005 model. We had a Highlander, which my son was using. That Highlander had been in the family for probably close to about 22 years. My brother-in-law bought it brand new in 2002. It had about 270 something thousand miles, but when I got it from my brother-in-law, which is about 2 years ago, it had about 250 something thousand miles on it. And I noticed that at startup, it had almost like a sound, like a knocking sound. And I had some concerns about the that car's motor, and the transmission had a whining sound as well. So my opinion is probably my brother-in-law didn't put as much maintenance into it. But what happened was a couple of weeks ago, my son took a drive to La Plata in Maryland, and on his way back, we checked the oil. The engine just crapped out on us. It just gave up on us. Car wouldn't move. So right now we're in the process of selling that car for parts, which is a shame because the Highlanders, especially that first generation, are great cars. So went ahead, was out looking, and I found this Avalon, which seemed to be in pretty decent shape in terms of the body, as you can see. But I've taken it for its first inspection, and there's a lot that needs to be done on this car. But as you can see, interior is pretty decent. I mean, for an '05, this is an XLS version, by the way. Interior is in pretty good shape. Leather's not The leather's not ripped or anything. Floor might need some cleaning. It's not been abused on the inside. I think what tends to happen sometimes is when people have Toyotas, they just don't keep up with the maintenance, thinking that they're indestructible. Let's take a look at the trunk. And these cars are not indestructible. They need to be well maintained. But this is a trunk. I mean, for what I paid for this car, I think that it's not terrible. Let's take a look at here, by the way. Uh, so as you can see, this spare tire is ripped, so I definitely need a new spare tire. But that's fine. I can deal with that. I'll talk about some of the stuff that's wrong with this car in a little bit, but let's get her started. Take a look at the engine bay as well and see what's good, what she sounds like. All right. Uh, don't have that great light. I decided to do this in the evening because it's really hot in the afternoons. Maryland weather. All right, so hood struts are still working. That's a good thing. V6 engine, Toyota's V6 engine. Oil, you know, it's okay. It's okay. I'm gonna do a fresh oil change pretty soon. Transmission shifts pretty good. Transmission shifts pretty smooth. That's one thing I did like. Um, Battery looks pretty decent. So in the inspection I had, I was told that this motor mount is no good. It needs to be changed. So it failed inspection because of that. I'll tell you what it failed inspection at. Struts failed the Maryland inspection. They say it needs new struts. When you drive the car, by the way, it's the 2GRFE motor. So when you drive the car, it has a rumbling, whining, well, not a whining sound, but a rumbling sound, which kind of told me that the wheel bearings needed changing. And yes, front wheel bearings need replacing. The rear wheel bearings need replacing as well. So you got the struts, wheel bearings. I think I don't remember what it is, but one of the suspension components needs to be replaced. And I'll remember what it is again. But I'm told that that component on this car can be a bit, a lot of labor to change. So I don't know what I'm looking at there. The car also needs new brakes, new rotors all around as well. So new brakes and new rotors all around as well. So you've got the wheel bearings, front and rear, brakes, rotors. A couple of these tail lights are out. That's not really a big deal. Rotors, brakes, transmission is fine. Motor is fine. There is a leak. I'm just going to start this baby up and let's see what's going on here. There is a leak on the flex pipe. So I start her up. Alright, so she's up and running. There's no engine lights on, which is weird. No trouble lights on. So I'm not sure if the codes were cleared just before I got it. I wouldn't be surprised. The motor runs, the air conditioning runs great. Let's see. The windows down. All the electrics work. So you can hear the motor's noisy because there's a leak on the flex pipe in the engine. Well, no, not in the engine, but in the front here. And you can hear that. I'm also hearing a lot of noise from here. My suspicion is that the belts, all the belts need to be changed, which wouldn't surprise me. But the motor itself is fine. We didn't find anything wrong with the motor, so that's a good thing. So naturally, I would personally change all the belts, serpentine belt, alternator belt, and all that. But I can hear some noise down there as well. So, my opinion, I don't think it's such a bad buy. I mean, these are things that I would naturally change anyways. Anytime I buy a used car, I'm expecting that those are the things, wear and tear, that I would change. I'm usually more concerned with transmission issues, engine, motor issues, stuff that can get real complicated. Timing belt. This car uses a chain, so that's a good thing. If you use the belt, I would be looking probably at changing an expensive water pump and the timing belt. But that's not the case here. So it's not as bad as one might think. And my thinking is, if I can get this up and running, with all those new parts in the car, I mean, it should be a decent car. It has 190 something odd thousand miles. I don't see why I can't run this car up through 300,000 miles. I've got my Odyssey over there, and that car has 293,000 miles. And when I got that, I had to change pretty much everything. Tires, struts, rotors. And that one I also had to do the timing belt and the water pump. And that's coming up pretty soon for changing as well. So not really too concerned about what I found out about this car. Most of it was what I was expecting. So I'm in the process of buying the parts right now, and should be able to give a good update in a couple of weeks. Let everybody know, how the car is running. Right now, when you drive it, it doesn't drive that good, and that's because the struts are gone. Rotors are bad. I mean, it's a fast car. This is a quick car. But otherwise, my son and I are going to be sharing the use of this car mostly. It should be fun. So I'll give you an update. See how it goes. This is Mike signing out. My review of a 2005 Toyota Avalon XLS. Bye.